does. Sometimes we want more variation is, so we can use a Boolean to decide how many times to iterate. So the basic idea is while some condition, do the loop body. Here's an example in pseudocode. While the keys are still missing, look in the next place, or here's the converse of that. While the keys have been found, not look in the next place. Same thing, but it's just a while loop. This is what it would look like actually in Java. I have a variable searching. It's a Boolean I set to true. So while I'm searching, if they're in, well, it's not quite Java. If they're in the right place, searching equals false. One of the things you deal with when you're doing a search is what if we don't find it? So in this case, this loop would run forever, right? If the keys or whatever we're looking at, keys, if the keys just don't exist, then you're gonna go through this forever because the only time you say I'm done searching is when I find it. So this one, yeah.
So would you maybe do a for loop then, and then the if statement on the inside?
No, you would just add an extra condition up here. While I'm searching and I haven't got to the end of my list, keep looking.
Okay.
So here is list all files. This is in our music program. Remember we had the music database or whatever it was called, I forgot. Music organizer. So we list all the files. So we start with an index of 0, and remember we had a list. I think it was an array list that we were using. So while the index, which is 0, is less than the size, files is that array list. So while the index is less than size, then we get the value. We get the value at that index, and yeah, we print it out, and then we increment the index. So I kept thinking this was searching. It's not searching. So this just prints everything out. Now we could have done this with a for each. In fact, I think we did last week. We did the same thing with the for each. Both of these work. For each is better if you're doing something for all of the elements, because it's, again, that's a definite recursion situation.
Welcome.
Definite iteration.
Ease of access button.
Definite iteration situation. We want to use that when we can. Yeah.
I've noticed like a lot of the examples in the book, like they always use index instead of like I. Like, is there really any? Should you use index to?
No, I usually use I or I use IDX.
Oh, okay.
But if you feel like you just want the little extra exercise, it probably burns 1/100th of an extra calorie every time you type index instead of
A little closer to carpal tunnel.
yeah, just a little closer to carpal tunnel. So if that's what you're going for, then you can use the full name. And you could actually use, this doesn't have to be indexed, it would be index of files. I mean, you could probably type a lot more if you wanted to. Yeah, but for the point of being self-documenting, IDX, index, anyone looking at this would understand, right? You would not be confused if they use I.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if it was like part of like maybe the syntax or the.
No. Okay. So elements of the loop, we had an index variable, we had the condition, and then we did the fetching of the elements. For each versus while, for each is easier to write. For each is safer because it will never have an infinite loop. You can't have an infinite loop with for each. While, on the other hand, is we don't have to process the whole collection, although we did in this little bit of code. We processed everything, but you don't have to. And it doesn't have to be used with the collection even. Yeah.
In a for each, can you access a null element?
I don't know what that means.
It, like if you had a for each in some collection, would it ever access a null element?
No. Well, if you're for eaching on a collection, then the only thing you get are the non-null elements, right?
Okay.
Collections don't really have a concept of storing a null value in the collection.
Okay.
But if you were for eaching over an array, that's different.
If it was an array of objects?
Yeah, if you're for eaching over an array of objects, you might have some that are null.
Ah, okay.
But for a collection, they don't normally store null values in the collection.
Right, okay.
Okay, and then with while, have any of you ever accidentally written an infinite loop with a while? Only
Never.
those 3 people? Really?
Never.
Okay, so everyone does, right? So that's a concern with a while loop, is you might end up in infinite loops. All right, searching and collection. We're going to kind of use this as a case study. It's something that we do often, searching through a collection to find something. It's necessarily indefinite unless you want to do it a very inefficient way, which is I'm going to look at everything and then I'll tell you if I found what I was looking for. Even if it was the first thing, I'm still going to look at everything. That wouldn't be a very efficient way to do it. One important thing when you're doing a search is you have to check for both success and failure, because you don't want to just run an infinite loop if you never found it. And also, the thing you're searching, the collection might be empty. So I'm just going to kind of jump to where we do this. This is searching and using our file organizer or our music organizer. So I have an index, set to 0. I haven't found it yet, so I have a Boolean I set to false. While my index is less than the size of my collection, remember it's 0 based on the lookups. That's why it's less than, not less than or equal. And I have not found it. I'm going to get the file at location I, and if the file contains my search string, which we don't see here, but there's a function header here that we passed in the thing we were looking for. If the file contains a search string, then I say I found it. So found it is true. Otherwise, I increment the index +1. At some point, the index will be equal to file size. Found will be false. I'll exit. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. And either we found it or we searched the whole collection. So, fairly simple linear search using a while loop. So, does the search still work if the collection is empty?
File size equals 0 and everything
Yeah,
is empty.
it does, because the file size is 0. 0 is 0 less than 0? No, so this is false, so this whole condition is not true, it's false, and whatever is false. And so, it exits. The loop body doesn't happen, of course, in that case, doesn't it? So a while loop, it's possible the loop body doesn't execute. And then, so the body is 0 or more times. You can use a while loop without a collection. This is just printing all the even numbers. So while index is less or equal to 30, print out the number and then increment by 2. So that's kind of it with a while loop. Any questions? There should be no surprises here. This is probably the 4th term in a row that you've seen while loops, right?
I think more than that.
More than that? Oh yeah, you might have seen it in 160, 161, 162, 260, 261 now. And in other classes. Alright, string class. One of the nice things about Java, better than C++, is we actually have a string class. The string class is defined in java.lang, that's the package. You don't have to do import java.lang, it just gets there, or .string, you get that one for free, it automatically knows to do that. It's nice because we have a string, not a char star, we actually just use a string. But there are a couple things that we have to deal with, think about. So, first one is equality. If input, in both these examples, input is a string. The first statement says if input equals by do something. The second one says if input dot equals, this is called a method, equals on the string class by, then do something. This tests identity, the first row, or the first example, it tests identity. What this says is input a reference to some object in memory, and is by a reference to some object in memory, and they both reference to the same thing. What this says, the second one, input.equals, it says, is the string represented by input equal to the string bye, and it just does a character by character comparison to make sure that they're equal. You always want to use dot equals for text equality. So I've got an example that I want to show you how to work through this.